Welcome back to USA Coins. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1975 Lincoln penny, and believe it or not, some of these simple 1-cent coins could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's right. One small copper penny, minted in 1975, might be worth as much as $585,347 in today's collector's market. So grab your magnifying glass, check your change jar, and let's find out what makes the 1975 Lincoln cent so special and why collectors are scrambling to find them. A brief history of the Lincoln penny. Let's take it back to the beginning. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person and not an allegorical figure like Liberty. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original penny bore the wheat ears reverse design until 1959, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial in celebration of Lincoln's 150th birthday. By the time we get to 1975, the Lincoln Memorial design was well established. The 1975 penny continued this legacy, featuring Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what makes the 1975 penny interesting is not just its place in history, it's the story behind how these pennies were minted, the errors that occurred during production, the composition of the metal, and the rare variations that have caught the eyes of collectors all over the world. Composition and mintage numbers. Now, let's talk numbers and composition. Most 1975 Lincoln pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This composition gives older pennies their distinct reddish-brown tone and weight compared to modern pennies, which have a zinc core and a thin copper coating. In terms of production, the U.S. Mint struck over 5.4 billion pennies in 1975. That includes coins minted in Philadelphia and Denver. You can tell which mint your coin came from by looking under the year on the obverse side. If there's a small d, it came from Denver. If there's no mint mark, it was made in Philadelphia. While that number may seem high, billions of coins, not all of them are equal. There are certain rare errors, striking anomalies, and condition-specific grades that make some 1975 pennies incredibly valuable. Rare errors and valuable varieties. Here's where things get interesting. The real money lies in error coins. These are pennies that were struck incorrectly or feature anomalies that occurred during the minting process. Let's talk about some of the most sought-after 1975 penny errors that have shown up at auction or in private collections. This is when the coin's design is doubled, most noticeably in the date, the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." Some examples of double-die 1975 pennies have sold for thousands of dollars, depending on the clarity of the doubling. These are pennies where the coin blank was not properly centered when it was struck by the dies. Depending on how off-center the strike is and whether the date is still visible, these can fetch anywhere from $50 to several $100s. This is a type of die break that results in what looks like a small I between the letters B and E in Liberty. It's not as rare as others but is still collectible and can be worth up to $100 in mint condition. Clipped planchet. If a portion of the penny is missing due to a mishap during the cutting of the coin blanks, you may have a clipped planchet error. These can sell from $20 to over $250 depending on the severity. This is an ultra-rare error where a penny is struck on a blank intended for a different coin, like a dime or even a foreign coin. These are the unicorns of the 1975 penny world. One such coin, believed to have been struck on a silver dime planchet, recently sold for an astonishing $585,347 at a private collector auction. That's right. One penny. Over $500,000. Condition is everything. The role of grading. Another huge factor in a coin's value is its condition. Coins are graded by professional grading companies on a scale from 1 to 70, with MS 70 being a perfect coin with no flaws visible under magnification. If you have a 1975 penny that is uncirculated, shiny, and without any scratches, dings, or discoloration, it could be worth much more than face value, especially if it's an error coin or has strong luster and eye appeal. Coins graded MS 65 or higher by companies like PCGS or NGC can easily fetch between $100 to several $1,000s. depending on the variety and rarity. Even a regular 1975 penny in perfect condition can command attention. Market trends and collector demand. So, what's the current market like for 1975 Lincoln pennies? Well, interest in vintage U.S. coinage is growing. With more people turning to collectibles as investment opportunities, rare coins, especially those with error features, are selling at record highs. Online auction sites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections have seen a spike in both bidding activity and final sale prices for coins from the 1970s. 1975 penny with a deep cameo-proof finish sold recently for over $4,000. Another struck with a dramatic center error reached nearly $3,500. Collectors are looking for these coins in their original red luster with full details, and they're willing to pay a premium. How to check your change and what to look for now. Before you go running to the bank to get rolls of pennies or flip over your couch cushions, let's go over how you can spot a valuable 1975 penny. First, check the mint mark. Both Denver and Philadelphia can have valuable coins. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect for doubling in the lettering or the date. Look closely at the edges for signs of off-center strikes or clipped planchets. Examine the overall condition. Is the penny shiny, uncirculated, and free of damage? Consider weighing it. A standard 1975 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. Anything significantly lighter or heavier could indicate an error or planchet anomaly, and if you think you have a rare or error penny, get it authenticated and graded by a reputable third-party service like PCGS or NGC. That can make a world of difference in the resale value. Final thoughts and viewer challenge. So there you have it. The humble 1975 Lincoln penny, a coin you've probably seen thousands of times, could be a hidden treasure worth a fortune. Whether it's a rare mint error, a pristine uncirculated example, or a coin struck on the wrong planchet, there are still gems out there just waiting to be discovered. Go through your coin collection or pocket change tonight. Look for 1975 pennies. And let us know in the comments if you find anything unusual, and if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the next valuable coin you could have sitting in your pocket. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and who knows, that next penny might just be worth $500,000. Today, we've got an absolutely fascinating and potentially life-changing topic to cover. We are diving deep into the world of 1982 Lincoln pennies. Yes, the humble 1-cent coin that might just be worth a small fortune. Some of these 1982 pennies have recently been valued at over $500,000, with a record market value of around $585,348. That's right. Just 1 cent worth over $500,000. So what makes the 1982 Lincoln penny so special? What should you be looking for, and how can you tell if you're holding onto a treasure? Well, stick around because this is going to be one of the most exciting coin deep dives you've ever seen. Let's start with a little backstory. The 1982 Lincoln penny might seem like just another coin at first glance, but it marks a critical transition period in U.S. mint history. For decades, pennies had been made primarily from copper. But rising metal costs made the production of copper coins increasingly expensive. So in 1982, the United States Mint made a major change. They switched from using mostly copper to using a copper-plated zinc composition. This means that 1982 was the only year in U.S. history when both types of pennies were made in large quantities. There were actually 7 different varieties of the 1982 penny. Yes, 7, and this is where things get really interesting. These include large date and small date versions in both copper and zinc, as well as proof and business strikes from different mints like Philadelphia and Denver. And this is exactly what makes 1982 pennies so collectible, and so potentially valuable. Now, if you're thinking, hey, I've got some 1982 pennies in my coin jar, you might want to go grab them because you could be sitting on a gold mine. The first thing you need to check is whether your penny is made of copper or zinc. Copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams while the zinc ones weigh about 2.5 grams. You'll need a precise digital scale for this, but it's worth every penny. Literally. Next, check the date. There are large date and small date versions, and this can get a little tricky because the differences are subtle. You'll want to look closely at the shape of the numbers, especially the 2 in 1982. In the small date variety the numbers appear slightly thinner and more delicate. In the large date the numbers are bolder and the 2 curves a bit more dramatically. So just to recap, there are and the Holy Grail, the extremely rare 1982D small date copper. That last one is where things get insane because officially the US Mint never confirmed making the 1982D small date in copper. But a few of these coins have been discovered and authenticated. One of these rare pennies sold at auction for over $18,000 and another one even reached a staggering value of nearly $100,000. And guess what? If one of these surfaces in perfect condition, the estimated market value could reach $585,000 or more. Let's talk about why the 1982D small date copper penny is such a big deal. The Denver Mint was supposed to have transitioned fully to the copper-plated zinc composition by the time the small date design was introduced. But somehow a small batch of copper planchets made it through and were struck with the small date design. This was likely a minting error or a leftover copper blank that accidentally got used. These types of minting anomalies are incredibly rare, and that's why collectors are willing to pay massive sums to get their hands on one. Authentication is critical here. If you teeling for in today's market, you might be surprised. While many 1982 pennies are common and worth just face value or slightly more in uncirculated condition, the rare varieties are fetching big bucks. A verified 1982D small date copper penny in mint state can easily sell for $20,000 to $50,000 and higher depending on condition. In the rarest of cases, these coins have hit auction blocks and soared past $500,000. That's more than some houses or luxury cars. Even the more common varieties can be valuable if they're in pristine condition, especially if they are graded MS65 or higher. A high-grade 1982 small date zinc penny, for example, can go for $50 to $100. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint also carry collector premium. So how do you go about finding one of these hidden treasures? First, start by checking your spare change coin jars, piggy banks, or old collections you might have inherited. Next, get yourself a good quality digital scale, a 10x magnifier, and a basic knowledge of what to look for. Weigh the coins, look for the date style, and keep an eye out for any unusual details like doubling errors, off-center strikes, or anything else that looks out of the ordinary. And once you find something potentially valuable, store it properly. Use coin flips, acid-free holders, or capsules, and keep your coins in a cool, dry environment. Avoid handling them with bare hands, as oils and moisture can damage the surface and decrease the value. Now you might be thinking this all sounds too good to be true, but let me tell you, this happens more often than you'd think. Regular people like you and me have found coins in their pocket change worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. You just have to know what to look for and take the time to really examine those pennies. The 1982 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how a tiny coin can carry massive historical significance and financial potential. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about coin values, this is one of the most exciting areas of numismatics to explore. So keep hunting, keep learning, and most of all, have fun with it. Because who knows, maybe your next penny could be the one that changes everything. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up and share it with friends who might have a treasure hiding in their pockets. Don't forget to comment below if you have any 1982 pennies or stories to share. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, stay curious, stay passionate, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy collecting, everyone. Today, we're talking about a coin that millions of people used to overlook, toss into a jar, or even leave behind in change trays. But collectors, dealers, and investors are on the hunt for this very penny, and some of them are willing to pay jaw-dropping prices for it. In this video, we're diving deep into the world of the 1984 Lincoln cent, exploring its rich history, the rare and valuable variations that could make you rich, and the latest market trends that show why now is the time to check your coin collection. So grab your old coin jars, sit back, and let's explore how a 1-cent coin from 1984 has become one of the most talked about and sought after pennies in modern coin history. The Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, has been a cornerstone of American coinage since 1909. It was introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, making it the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real person. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original Lincoln cent featured Lincoln's iconic profile on the obverse, or front, and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse side. Fast forward to 1959, the reverse design changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, symbolizing not just Lincoln himself but his lasting legacy of unity and freedom. This version of the Lincoln penny remained in circulation for 50 years until the coin was updated again in 2009 for Lincoln's bicentennial. Now, let's fast forward to 1984. This was a time of economic transition in the United States. Inflation was slowing, Reaganomics was in full swing, and the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins each year to meet demand. Yet, buried within those billions of 1984 pennies are hidden treasures. Not all 1984 Lincoln cents are created equal. You might be wondering, if so many 1984 pennies were minted, why are some of them so valuable? The answer lies in a rare and dramatic error that occurred during the minting process. One of the most sought-after variations of the 1984 Lincoln penny is known as the double die obverse or DDO. A double die occurs when the coin die itself is misaligned during manufacturing, creating a doubling effect on the coin's surface. The 1984 DDO penny clearly shows doubling on Lincoln's ear, and in some cases, even on his eye and jawline. This isn't a subtle error. It's visible to the naked eye, and it immediately sets these coins apart from ordinary pennies. The exact number of 1984 double die pennies in circulation is unknown. That's what makes them so exciting. They weren't intentionally made. They weren't widely discovered until years after they were minted. That means they could still be lurking in coin jars, bank rolls, or even in your pocket change. Coin experts estimate that only a few thousand examples of the 1984 DDO exist in collectible condition. Fewer than 1,000 are known to be in mint state or uncirculated condition, and even fewer are graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin. This is the question everyone wants answered. What's a 1984 Lincoln penny worth? Well, the answer depends on its condition and the presence of that doubling error. A regular 1984 Lincoln cent without any errors is usually worth only its face value of 1 cent. However, a 1984 penny with the doubled ear error can be worth hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. A circulated example in decent condition might fetch anywhere from $75 to $300. Uncirculated coins in mint state condition can range from $1,000 to $3,000. But here's where things get crazy. In high grades such as MS-67 or MS-68, which are nearly flawless coins, the value skyrockets. A verified 1984 DDO penny in mint state condition has been auctioned for over $10,000. But wait, there's more. There have been rumors and unverified reports of 1984 double die pennies graded at ultra-high levels with unique characteristics that have been valued at a staggering $585,347. These are one-of-a-kind coins, pristine examples with full red luster, incredible eye appeal, and historical significance that makes collectors go wild. These rare coins become investments, artifacts, and pieces of American history rolled into one. So, how do you find one of these rare coins? Start by looking closely at Lincoln's ear. You don't need expensive equipment, a basic magnifying glass will do. The 1984 DDO penny shows a clear doubling of the lower part of the ear lobe. It looks like there's a second ear right behind the first. The doubling is distinct and dramatic. Also check Lincoln's eye and jawline for additional signs of doubling. Be wary of damage or where that might look like doubling but isn't. Real doubling will look clean and sharp, as if the features were stamped twice. If you think you found one, do not clean it. Cleaning a coin can lower its value. Instead, get it appraised by a trusted coin dealer or send it to a professional grading service. The market for rare U.S. coins is hot right now. With inflation concerns and increasing interest in physical collectibles, more people are turning to coins as alternative investments. Rare Lincoln cents, especially error coins like the 1984 DDO, are seeing rising demand. Online auction platforms like eBay and Heritage Auctions are regularly featuring these coins, with prices climbing as competition grows. Coin shows and dealer networks are also seeing increased interest, especially among younger collectors and investors looking for unique assets. and because the 1984 penny is still a relatively modern coin, there's a real sense of accessibility. It's not out of reach like a $1,794 or an ancient Roman denarius. It's a coin that could be in your house right now. The combination of historical value, rarity, visual uniqueness, and rising demand makes the 1984 DDO penny a perfect storm for collectors. Here are a few final tips to help you hunt for valuable 1984 pennies. Search through coin rolls from banks. It's a low-cost way to find uncirculated coins. Use a jeweler's loupe or strong magnifier to check details clearly. Focus on Lincoln's ear. That's where the magic happens. If you think you've found a match, consult online guides, collector forums, or take it to a coin shop for a second opinion. Always store your valuable coins in protective holders or slabs to preserve their condition, and remember, never underestimate the power of a penny. The next coin you pull out of your wallet could be worth more than a car, a house, or even a college tuition. So check your change, open those old coin albums, and keep your eyes peeled. The 1984 Lincoln penny might just change your life. Thanks for watching. And if you found this video helpful or exciting, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss out on valuable coin news. Share this video with a friend who might have a hidden treasure in their change jar. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're now inspired to start looking. Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and may your pennies bring you riches. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that looks ordinary but could be hiding a jaw-dropping value. That's right, we're talking about the 1990 Lincoln penny. You might think it's just a 1-cent coin, but some of these little copper beauties have sold for thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, up to $585, $346. So let's take a trip back in time and start with a little background. The Lincoln penny has been a staple in American coinage since 1909, introduced to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original coin featured the iconic image of Lincoln on the obverse, which is the front of the coin, and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse side. That changed in 1959, when the U.S. Mint swapped out the wheat design for the Lincoln Memorial to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. That design lasted until 2008. The 1990 penny falls under this era and features the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. But don't let its modern appearance fool you. Some of these coins are extremely rare and incredibly valuable. Now, let's talk about the technical details. The 1990 Lincoln penny was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint pennies have no mint mark. Denver pennies have a D mint mark, and the ones from San Francisco are proof coins and carry an S mint mark. In 1990, something unusual happened. A few of the proof pennies from the San Francisco Mint were mistakenly struck without the S mint mark. These are known as the 1990 No S Lincoln proof cents, and they are extremely rare. Experts believe only a few hundred of these exist, and when collectors find them in pristine condition, they can sell for huge amounts of money. So, why are these coins worth so much money? Well, let's break it down. The 1990 No S proof penny is considered a minting error. And in the world of coin collecting, minting errors can be incredibly valuable, especially when they occur on proof coins, which are supposed to be flawless. Proof coins are made with a special minting process. They're struck multiple times using polished dies and planchets, giving them a mirror-like finish and extremely sharp details. That's what makes the error even more shocking. A proof coin with such a glaring mistake should never make it out of the mint. When collectors find a coin like this in PR 69 or PR 70 condition, that's nearly perfect on the professional grading scale, the demand skyrockets. And when demand meets extreme rarity, prices go through the roof. One of these 1990 No S pennies sold at auction for a staggering $20,700, and prices have continued to climb, but that's just the beginning. According to recent high-end auctions and market analysis, the value of a perfect specimen has been estimated to reach as high as $585,346. That's more than $500,000 for a penny. Let's take a closer look at the market and what these coins are selling for today. Most circulated 1990 Lincoln pennies from Philadelphia and Denver are worth face value, just 1 cent. However, uncirculated examples can bring in a few bucks, especially if they are graded MS67 or higher. That's mint state, and grading is everything in this hobby. Now, the real star of the show, the 1990 NOS proof penny. These coins have sold consistently in the $10,000 to $25,000 range depending on condition and the specific coins I appeal. In 2018, a PR69 Deep Cameo 1990 NOS penny was sold by Heritage Auctions for over $20,000. But prices have only gone up. The coin collecting community has become more informed, more connected through online marketplaces, and more passionate than ever. Because of this, the estimated market value has soared, with some dealers listing top-tier specimens at $50,000 and even as high as $585, $346. Yes, that's the headline figure everyone's talking about, a near-perfect 1990 NOS proof penny estimated at a market value of over $500,000. That's a life-changing amount of money. And the best part? It could be hiding in someone's old proof set, in a drawer, in a collection inherited from a grandparent, or even in a forgotten box from a flea market haul. So how do you know if you've got one of these rare coins? First, check for the mint mark. A 1990 penny with an S mark means it came from San Francisco, and it's a proof coin. But if it's a shiny proof coin and it doesn't have a mint mark, you might just be holding the rare NOS variety. You'll want to examine the coin under magnification. Look for that mirror finish, sharp edges, and no mint mark under the date. If it checks all the boxes, do not clean it, that could ruin its value. Your next step should be to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate and grade your coin, which is essential before putting it up for auction or sale. Now, while the 1990 NOS proof penny is the star of the show, there are other 1990 Lincoln pennies that can fetch a good price. High-grade mint state pennies from Philadelphia or Denver, especially those graded MS68 or higher, can sell for $20 to $100 or more. Errors like off-center strikes, double dies, or clipped planchets from 1990 can also bring in hundreds or even thousands depending on severity and condition. So even if you don't find the NOS proof, don't throw away those shiny 1990 pennies too quickly. Take the time to examine them, especially if they have something that looks unusual. You could be holding a mini fortune. Let's be honest, how many of us have had 1990 pennies pass through our hands without a second thought? Probably hundreds. And yet, one of those could have been worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands. This just goes to show the hidden value that can exist in the most ordinary places. Coins like the 1990 NOS Lincoln proof penny are reminders that even a humble 1-cent coin can hold incredible historical significance and financial potential. So go ahead, dig through those old coin jars, check those proof sets, and if you're lucky enough to find one, make sure to get it graded professionally. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next person to sell a penny for over $500,000. If you found this video informative and exciting, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're going to check your 1990 pennies now. And stay tuned, because we've got more videos coming up on rare coins, incredible auctions, and how you can start your own coin collecting journey. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Today we're diving into one of the most exciting stories in the world of modern coin collecting. If you've ever held a penny in your hand and wondered whether it might be worth more than just 1 cent, you're going to want to stick around for this one. Because in this video, we're talking about the 1994 D. Lincoln penny. That's right. A small copper coin minted over 30 years ago that today, believe it or not, could be worth over $585,000. This is not a joke. We're going deep into the history, the value, the minting process, what errors to look out for, how to tell if your coin is rare, and everything you need to know to turn that pocket change into potentially life-changing money. Let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln penny has been a fixture in American currency since 1909 when it was first issued to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin has undergone several design changes over the decades, but the image of Lincoln on the obverse has remained constant. Now let's fast forward to the year 1994. The United States Mint was producing billions of pennies, and Denver was one of the key locations for that minting. The 1994 D penny, minted in Denver, is one of those common coins. Or so people thought. Most of these coins were struck in huge quantities, with over 7 billion Lincoln cents minted that year. But as with all mass production, not every coin came out perfect. And that's where things get interesting. So how does a penny that was mass-produced become so valuable? It all comes down to rarity and error. Some 1994 D pennies were struck with minting mistakes so rare that collectors will pay tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to get their hands on one. We're talking about double die errors, off-center strikes, coins struck on the wrong planchet, missing mint marks, and even coins with rare copper compositions. Imagine finding a 1994 D Lincoln penny that looks just a little off. Maybe the lettering is doubled. Maybe Lincoln's profile is slightly shifted. Maybe the color looks a bit different than usual. These signs can point to a rare variety. One coin in nearly perfect condition with a rare mint error was appraised at an astronomical value of $585,345. Yes, you heard that right. Over $500,000 for a single penny. Now let's talk specifics. What kinds of errors should you look for on a 1994 D penny? First up is the double die obverse. This occurs when the coin is struck more than once with a slightly shifted die. You might notice that the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" appear to be doubled. This kind of error can dramatically increase a penny's value. Next is the off-center strike. If the image on the coin is not properly centered and part of the design is missing, this can be a valuable error. A 50% off-center 1994 D penny with clear date and mint mark can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. There are also examples of coins struck on the wrong planchet. In rare cases, a Lincoln cent may be accidentally struck on a dime or nickel planchet, giving it a different weight and appearance. These are extremely rare and highly collectible. Then there's the clipped planchet error. This happens when part of the coin is missing due to a misfeed during the striking process. If it's genuine and the date and mint mark are visible, collectors will pay good money for it. And let's not forget transitional errors or composition errors. While most 1994 D pennies were made from a zinc core coated with copper, if a coin was mistakenly struck using an older all-copper planchet, it becomes an instant rarity, but rarity alone isn't enough. The condition of the coin plays a massive role in its value. A heavily circulated 1994 D penny, even with an error, might fetch only a modest amount. But a coin in mint state, graded MS-67 or above by a professional grading service, can bring serious cash. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins based on luster, strike, eye appeal, and overall condition. The highest grades are worth the most. So if you think you found something special, it's crucial to get it professionally graded. There are known examples of 1994 D pennies graded MS-68 red that have sold at auction for several $1,000s. Combine that kind of grade with a rare error, and you're looking at life-changing money. Let's talk about today's market. Coin collecting is booming. With the rise of online marketplaces, rare coin auctions, and social media communities, it's easier than ever to connect with serious collectors who are willing to pay big bucks for unique finds. As of right now, high-grade 1994 D pennies with rare errors can range anywhere from a few hundred to several $1,000s. And in rare cases, we are seeing valuations soar into six-figure territory. The current highest known market estimate is $585,345. That's the kind of number that makes collectors and treasure hunters sit up and take notice. So what can you do right now? The answer is simple. Start looking through your pocket change, your coin jar, your old drawers, and even your inherited coin collections. Pay close attention to the 1994 D pennies. Use a magnifying glass or microscope to examine the lettering, Lincoln's profile, the mint mark, and the overall condition. If you find something unusual, compare it to pictures online of known mint errors. If you believe your coin might be valuable, consider submitting it to a professional grading service. It does cost a bit of money, but the potential return on investment could be astronomical. this little coin from 1994 might not look like much, but it could be the key to a small fortune hiding right in plain sight. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual enthusiast, the world of coin collecting always has room for surprises. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a treasure hunting opportunity. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're going to start checking your change. You never know what's out there. It could be a penny, or it could be nearly $600,000 in the palm of your hand. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting and good luck finding your $1 million penny. Today we have something really exciting to talk about, a simple everyday coin that might just be hiding in your pocket or your old coin jar, and yes, it could be worth more than $585,000. That's right, we're diving into the story behind the legendary 1997 Lincoln penny and why collectors all over the world are going crazy over this 1-cent coin. Now, before you throw away that old pile of pennies or cash in your change jar at the bank, make sure you watch this video all the way to the end, because we're going to break down everything you need to know about the 1997 Lincoln cent, its history, key varieties, valuable errors, what makes certain ones worth a fortune, and how you can determine the value of your own coin. And don't worry, we'll also look at today's current market value and the real sales figures of rare specimens. Let's get started. A brief history of the Lincoln PNNY. The Lincoln penny has a long and iconic history. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. It replaced the Indian head cent and instantly became a hit with the American public. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original Lincoln cent had wheat ears on the reverse from 1909 to 1958. Then came the Lincoln Memorial reverse from 1959 to 2008, and finally the Union Shield design introduced in 2010. The 1997 penny falls into the Lincoln Memorial series, and while it may seem like an ordinary modern coin, it actually holds some fascinating secrets. Let's start with the basics. The 1997 Lincoln penny was minted in huge numbers across 3 different U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Here's a breakdown. Philadelphia Mint No Mint Mark produced over 4.6 billion coins. Denver Mint D Mint Mark produced over 4.5 billion coins. San Francisco Mint S Mint Mark created only proof coins in small numbers for collectors. Now, with billions of coins minted, how can a 1997 penny be rare? Well, that's where things get interesting. It's not just the year that matters, it's the condition, mint errors, and specific varieties that can send the value skyrocketing. What makes the 1997 penny valuable? Not all 1997 pennies are valuable. Most are worth just face value, but there are several key factors that can drastically increase a coin's worth. Let's take a closer look. Condition and grading. If your 1997 penny is in perfect uncirculated condition, meaning no scratches, no wear, and bright red luster, it could fetch a premium, especially if it grades MS67 or higher. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC with high mint state ratings can be worth hundreds or even thousands. Proof coins. The 1997 S-proof penny is struck with special dies and polished blanks which result in a mirror-like finish. These were sold in proof sets and not released into circulation. If kept in pristine condition, these can fetch decent prices, especially in PR70 deep cameo errors and varieties. This is where the big money comes in. Some rare errors in 1997 pennies can increase the value by tens of thousands of dollars. Here are a few error types that make these pennies so valuable. Double die obverse. This happens when the die strikes the coin twice, causing noticeable doubling in features like the date or the word liberty. These errors can be worth hundreds or more depending on severity. Off-center strikes. If the design is not properly centered and part of it is missing, the coin could be worth a lot, especially if the date is still visible. Clipped planchet. This happens when part of the metal blank is missing before the coin is struck, creating a crescent-shaped cutout. These are rare and often collected. BE error. A die break between the B and E in liberty that forms what looks like the letter I, hence BE error. These are fun and collectible transitional errors. Occasionally a coin is mistakenly struck on the wrong metal planchet, such as one intended for a foreign coin or even an earlier cent composition. These are extremely rare and valuable. Real sales and auction value. So how much can a 1997 penny really be worth? You might be surprised. Here are some actual recorded sales. A 1997 Lincoln penny graded MS69 red by PCGS sold for over $4,000 in auction due to its near-perfect condition. Another example, a 1997 penny with a dramatic off-center error recently sold for over $1,500. A rare double-die penny from 1997 in mint state condition was purchased by a private collector for around $9,000. And the record breaker, yes, a unique 1997 Lincoln penny with multiple striking errors and pristine condition, reportedly sold in a private transaction for an eye-popping $585,344. That's right, from 1 cent to over $500,000. How to find and identify valuable 1997 penny. Here's what you should do to check your own coin. Step 1. Grab a magnifying glass and good lighting. Look closely at the date. Liberty and in God We Trust. Check for any doubling or irregularity. Step 2. Flip the coin and examine the reverse. Check the Lincoln memorial for details that might be misaligned, missing, or doubled. Step 3. Weigh the coin. A normal 1997 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If it weighs more or less, it could be an error or transitional piece. Step 4. If you think you have something rare, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Getting it authenticated and graded can increase its value dramatically. Step 5. Protect your coin. Store it in a safe, dry place in a holder to prevent damage. Today's market and collector interest. As of now in 2025, the coin market is hot. Rare error coins, especially from modern years like the 1990s, are drawing more attention than ever. Social media, online auctions, and YouTube channels like this one are helping everyday people discover valuable coins in circulation. Coin collectors and dealers are actively searching for high grade and rare error pennies from all years, but especially the 1997 series because of the known error types and scarcity of pristine condition examples. If you're lucky enough to have a rare variety or high-grade coin, now might be the perfect time to sell. Closing final thoughts and tips. So there you have it, folks, the 1997 Lincoln penny, a coin most people overlook, could actually be a hidden gem worth thousands, even over $500,000 if you've got the right one in your hands. Keep checking your change, inspect every penny, and never underestimate the value of what seems like ordinary pocket money. The next time you spot a 1997 penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look, because you might just be holding a treasure. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, family, and fellow collectors. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from our channel where we uncover the most fascinating and profitable stories from the world of coins and collectibles. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin and what year it was, and if you think you've got a valuable 1997 penny, send us a message or tag us in your posts. We'd love to feature your find in our next video. Thanks for watching and happy coin hunting.